Hi, so I'm Becky. I'm the Students' Union President here at Christchurch Students' Union, and we're going to talk about the union's annual elections. This is Kate. She is our Head of Engagement and Deputy Chief Executive. She also manages the elections and ensures they are fair.
Hi.
So, hi, Kate. So I've got a couple of questions for Kate. The first question is, why do we hold elections?
Well, the Students' Union holds being student-led as one of its core values. We're a democratic organisation, and one of the best and biggest events in our annual calendar is our leadership elections. So every year we elect 4 students to full-time paid roles to represent all the students at Christchurch University.
Lovely. And what positions are available?
So we have 4 paid positions. You have the option to take a year out of your study or after you graduate to represent students full-time. All the roles are trustees of the Students' Union as a charity, directors of the Students' Union as a company, and it really is an unparalleled opportunity to gain a wide range of experience. So the first role that Becky's very familiar with is Union President. So this officer is the lead for the academic experience. They're a member of senior university decision-making bodies, and they represent students at the highest levels of the university on issues from assessment to timetabling to library and IT provision. They're also the student governor on the university's board of governors, with a real say in how the university is run. The second role is President Campaigns and Societies. So this role is responsible for coordinating the union's campaigning activity, which pushes for change in the university, in the local area and nationally on behalf of Christchurch students, supporting student groups to run their own campaigns. They also support the over 70 student-led societies to thrive and flourish, bringing them together as a community, supporting their events, helping them to develop skills. This office is also the lead for students at the Medway campus. The third role is President Community Diversity and Inclusion, which is a new role for this year. It's really focused on promoting inclusion for all students, championing diversity, ensuring students' well-being, and supporting the advancement of students in civic society. So they work closely with university support services, the local councils and community organisations to champion students' role in the Canterbury and Medway communities. And then finally, the President for Engagement and Sport is the lead for increasing student engagement with the Students' Union. So they'll coordinate work seeking student feedback on what they want from their union and providing engaging, inclusive events for all students, whatever their background or circumstance. They also support the over 30 student-led sports clubs, ensuring that the committee members are trained and supported, and they work closely with the university sport department to secure the best possible facilities and experience.
Thank you. So several of the roles have changed this year as from previous years. So what are the changes and why have they happened?
So we listened to feedback from 2 years worth of student officers and the students they work closely with. And what we wanted to do is first of all clarify the roles so that the titles and the descriptions better reflected the work that is actually being done during the year, but also to reflect the changing needs of our diverse student body. We deliberately put in a more explicit focus on representation, engagement, diversity and inclusion. And each officer does have their own remit, but they need to work as part of a team to be most effective. All the roles are about achieving change for students across all areas of their experience. So academic, extracurricular, sporting, pastoral support, wellbeing, and students as members of local and national communities. And all the roles have an explicit focus on underrepresented groups such as BAME students, commuters, student parents, LGBT and disabled students to make the union a more diverse union and better represent all of our students. Oh no, Becky, you're muted.
Oh, I did that on purpose. That was an on purpose thing. I was just saying it's a really exciting time for change in the union. So if a student was interested in finding out more about the roles, how would they do that?
Well, we'll have the full role descriptions on the website. Do have a read. It's ccsu.co.uk/elections. We're running a question and answer session on Wednesday, the 10th of February at 5 p.m. on Google Meets. That'll give you a chance to talk to Becky and the other current sabbatical officers about their roles. Nominations will be open for 2.5 weeks, so you've got a bit of time to consider. So from Monday the 8th to Wednesday the 24th of February, you can nominate yourself online through our elections website. You'll need to write a manifesto outlining what you want to achieve in the role and why students should vote for you. We'll support you with this. We'll give you briefings and training on running your campaign, which will be completely online this year. But also feel free to contact the current sabbatical officers or myself if you've got any questions about the roles, about running for election or about taking time out from your studies. While I've got you, Becky, I've got a couple of questions for you. So you're coming up to the end of your second year as a sabbatical officer. Why should students consider running for one of these positions?
So I've had two positions as two different sabbatical officers. So president of development as it was last year, and obviously union president this year. They both give you an incredible amount of different skills. They also give you access to different sort of strategic places within the university to understand not only our institution, but also higher education as a whole. I've learned so much in the last 2 years that I just wouldn't have got from any other position.
Fantastic. Thanks, Becky. So people are probably wondering, what's it actually like being a sabbatical officer day to day?
It is the hardest, but also the best job. There's an incredible amount of responsibility there. You are responsible for sort of 15,000 students. However, it's also the most fun because you work within a really close-knit team, both within sabbatical officers and also the wider union staff team as well. And it really is like a little family. It sets you up really well for kind of working life. You understand various different things, but I also think it's just fun. It's an extra year that we can do on top of our studies that gives us an enormous amount of resources, but also gives us lots of memories as well.
Oh, thanks, Becky. So if you had to isolate one thing, what would be the best thing about working for CCSU and working for the students at Christchurch?
I think seeing change, enacting change is really important. This role is all about positive change for students, but also for the wider community as well. You're in a position, you have a platform to change and get involved in so many different things. That for me personally is the biggest takeaway.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, just before we go, have you got any advice for any students who are thinking about maybe running for one of these roles?
Absolutely. Do it. Absolutely do it. It is one of the best things you could possibly do with your time. It's a role unlike any other, and it's an opportunity that you'll never get again. I would also say don't be afraid. I was a mature student with a sort of a single parent with a child, and it was absolutely terrifying to me, the thought of going into a role like this. But I'm so glad I did. So whatever your circumstances, whatever your background, just give it a go.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kate.